I want to go into what went on with the original people, or the so-called Indians, during this time whereby, there's this Revolutionary War. We're going to go from that point, because what I need you all to recognize is, yes, there were melanated Moors running the so-called Americas. And the deal with that is we have to recognize the truth about what they actually did to the original people. And that's not being told, because of the simple fact that there are people trying to hide what the Moors did. They don't want to tell the truth about that. So when somebody like me comes in and I start telling the truth about what the Moors did and the treachery they did on the original people, well, then I become an enemy. I'm not trying to be the enemy, but I'm going to tell the truth and the facts. If you go to this site, once again, unarepublic.com/DOCS, D as in David, O as in Oscar, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam, you're going to be able to find these documents. Once again, it is free. I want to get into this, the Iroquois Confederacy, Great Law of Peace, because one of the things that I've talked about is that the original people put the land in trust, and is still in trust to this day for the descendants of the land. And the problem is that the descendants of the land do not know who they are. I want to detail this right quick, because a lot of people are not recognizing this as well, who really owns the land. This is the Iroquois Confederacy, which is the oldest treaty of this land. And it talks about this land. In this treaty, it's also stating we claim ownership of our land. You will never see anything about a sultan or Morocco or Al Morocco or Mauritania, none of that. These people are saying this is our land, we've been here, but they're telling you what the laws are of the land. I want to show you who this treaty says, and this is the oldest treaty, and this treaty governed clans as far south as what we know of as South America to as far north as Canada. The Iroquois Confederacy is what the Constitution is based off of. Now I want to go into who it's saying the land belongs to. In this document, I want to read from here so you can understand who were the true owners of the land according to this document. It says to hold chieftainship titles via wampum strings, the rights, duties, and qualifications of the statesmen. And this is called wampum number 17. So let's read here. It says a bunch of certain shell wampum strings, each 2 spans in length, shall be given to each of the female families in which the chieftainship titles are vested. Let me read that again for the people in the back of the room. A bunch of certain shell wampum strings, each 2 spans in length, shall be given to each of the female families in which the chieftainship titles are vested. The rights of bestowing the titles shall be hereditary in the family of the females legally possessing the bunch of shell strings, and the strings shall be the token that the females of the family have the ownership to the chieftain titles for all time to come, forever, ever, and ever, ever, and ever, ever, subject to the certain restrictions mentioned here. Are we recognizing that it is the women who have full ownership forever, as said in this treaty that is still in effect to this day? Why do they want to tell you about, the Peace and Friendship Treaty, that's the oldest treaty and the oldest known treaty, when there is this treaty that is of the land, that's dealing with the land by the original people of the land? that is a valid contract that you should be standing on, they want you to call yourself more. Because when you call yourself more, you don't have title to this contract. This is the real contract. Why didn't I tell you about this one? The Iroquois Confederacy, where it's telling you, oh, it's the women who own. Women, this is why I keep telling you, you got to wake up. Tapping into your supernatural powers. This is why I keep telling you, you got to wake up. Because you're the one who owns the land. Not the U.S. You. And you can't own the land when you calling yourself something other than the mothers of this land. You have to honor the mothers of this land. And this thing right here is telling you who legally owns it. I'm going to read it again for the people in the back of the room. Rights, duties, and qualifications of the statesmen. Clan mothers to hold chieftain titles via wampum string. A bunch of certain shells, wampum strings, each 2 spans in length, shall be given to each of the female families in which the chieftain titles are vested. Vested. I mean, it belongs to them. It's theirs. It's theirs. The right to bestow the title shall be hereditary. Family. Blood. In the family of female legally possessing the bunch of shell strings, and the string shall be the token that the females of the family have the ownership of the chieftainship title for all time to come, subject to certain restrictions mentioned here. Remember to keep that bell on for notifications. Follow UNA Republic for more great information.